Okay, and we're back with the Q&A. I have quite a few questions for you, Andrew. And I've got some personal questions myself, but let's do the chat room first.
Okay.
Is the Wirecast Gear going to be upgradable as far as storage?
It's a good question. So at the moment, if you open the box the way it is, the way that you would void your warranty. We have a 90-day free parts and labor warranty. And then if you want to buy the Gear Care plan, that extends to 3 years, up to 3 years. So if you want the warranty, the advantage of the warranty, then you probably shouldn't open it. And if you're going to augment the storage, it should be external storage.
Oh.
If you don't care about the warranty and that doesn't bother you and you feel comfortable enough to open up boxes and modify things, then that's kind of up to you. Just be aware that we can't necessarily support you when you've gone tinkering around in the box like that. Now, there's always the possibility in the future that we may offer like an upgrade program or something like that to get you more storage if we see that enough people really want that. But we kind of feel like there's a lot of storage on there already, and if you're really needing a lot more than that, then either you should upgrade to a unit that has it already, or you can augment it with external storage.
And Paul, if I could chime in there, we've actually tested the Wirecast Gear with the USB storage solutions from G Technology.
Ah.
So you can add an external USB drive. I'm looking at the unit, 4 USB 3 ports on here. That'll be more than fast enough to run your video storage.
Yeah, and there's 2 on the front and a C on the back. So yeah, we're hoping you're going to have plenty of USB 3 ports on there for you guys.
Very cool. Jim, can you hold it up for us one more time?
Absolutely. I'll show you the back of the unit too here.
Beautiful.
So
do you have a PTZ camera? You can zoom in?
I could, absolutely. Why would I do with anything else, right?
There we go. Now we're looking at it.
I love the zoom on those guys.
There we go.
There we go. And in the front of the unit?
Yeah, so that's a line in and a mic and headphones out there and 2 USB ports there. And if you need more details, we have a great product sheet on it, and Jim or I can get that to anybody who's curious. Get the really exact specs.
And what I have to say, one of the things we really love about the unit is that it looks like a standard satellite box, like a satellite TV box, but it's also rack mountable for use in an OB van or a professional studio or something like that. So.
Yeah, and it's rugged. I keep saying this, but the only moving part on there is the fan, right? So it can take a bit of a beating without messing you up.
Here's a nice question from Fresno Pacific University. It's a little bit of a loaded gun, but I gotta ask it. He's saying, from a Wirecast perspective, why are the gearboxes better than a TriCaster?
Oh gosh. So I don't like to sell against the competition because I think there's, when you're looking at solutions, everybody's got advantages and disadvantages. I'd say that Wirecast's primary advantages, just in and of itself, or Wirecast Gear's primary advantages, are that it's really portable, it's inexpensive, it's not going to break the bank, and it's got crazy support and a ton of amazing features. So there's just a lot of reasons to like it. It's portable, durable, rugged, and more than that, it's also a Windows 10 computer. So we're not here to tell you can't install your own software, do your own workflows on it. That's totally up to you. We want you to use Wirecast Gear like a computer. Whereas other systems out there will, that's a problem, right? Not all of them want you messing with the software piece of it. For our part, we're just giving you a very, very capable computer that has Wirecast already installed on it, as well as the new Blue software installed on it. So what you do with it from that point and how it fits into your workflow is really what we want you to do. And we tried to make it as versatile as possible. We didn't ship a screen built into the system because, again, that locks you into something that makes you pay for more. stuff that may not fit everybody's needs. We figured we'd try to give you the basics, and then you can build your own workflow system from there. So
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question. There's just a lot of advantages to it, and I hope it speaks for itself there. And with Wirecast, you know what you're getting, and you also have a lot of great support behind you with Telestream and Wirecast support team.
Yeah, that in a question I'm going to ask you a little bit about more the support. In a question. In a moment, I'll ask you a little bit more about the support because it sounds like they're interested about that. The other thing about having an open Windows platform is that PTZOptics sells camera control software from Rocosoft that will allow you to control 16 cameras, whether it's over IP or RS-232 with serial and daisy chaining. And because it's an open Windows platform, you can install literally the best possible control software and run that right next to Wirecast. So I think that was a great idea. Couple questions coming in. Does it come with a 19-inch rack mount ears if you want to rack mount it, or are people going to have to buy a rack mount shelf?
Yeah, no, it comes with the 19-inch rack mount ears, and I think for $25 more, you can buy some rear rack mount rails for it too, if you want the support on the front and the back.
Awesome. Couple more questions here. And there were some at the very beginning I'm going to try to get to before we get all the way to the top. So let's see here. Is it ever going to be also available with Mac, or is it always just going to be a Windows device?
Well, I think that the limiting factor there is Apple, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just don't really see people shipping custom-made Mac computers. You know, there's Hackintoshes and things like that, but I don't think we'd ever be able to comfortably say put a Mac computer in that form factor. So I think for now, unless Apple's suddenly changing their tune to open it up to third-party integrators, we probably wouldn't do that. I think we're going to stick with Windows, at least for now, for the foreseeable future.
Couple more questions here. Ulisser is asking, he's saying that Wirecast doesn't like it when you plug and unplug video sources after the program has been launched. Will you be addressing that problem in the future, or is that just a standard practice to not plug and unplug sources?
Well, I think it's always a good idea not to unplug and plug sources. Now, the key there often is your operating system drivers, right? So those tend to be controlled by your Mac or Windows or Apple or Mac, and they also tend to be controlled by the card manufacturers and how they hook into those operating system drivers. So we do our best to try to make it hot swappable where and when we can, particularly with maybe sources that are already tied to the drivers that Wirecast is hooked into in the operating system. But it's a moving target, and it changes depending on the source and the way it's coming in. So yeah, I think our goal is always to try to make it very easy to, if a source gets disconnected, and to reconnect it without having to restart the whole program. But will we be able to do that for everything and all the time? Probably not.
Makes a lot of sense. So Fresno Pacific University is asking if you can tell us a little bit more about support.
Yeah. So support is a big deal with Wirecast Gear. I think it's one of its really big competitive advantages. So it comes with premium support, which means you can get somebody on the call. Let me back up even further, a step there for a second. With Wirecast Gear, when we created the basic installation image for the system, we installed Wirecast Gear, we installed New Blue, we installed Switch Plus, but we also looked at it from a support perspective, and we said, okay, what would a customer who needs to be supported with this system need also on that system image? So we installed a remote assistance software. So go to Assist, I think, is on there, or TeamViewer is on there. So any of our team can instantly get access and help you with it if you want, and even remote assist you that way. We also installed a backup and restore image, so that if anything goes wrong, you install the wrong software, you get some malware or whatever, you can wipe it back completely to a base install image without any of the problems that you might have introduced. Having an open system is really good, but it can be dangerous too, right? So we wanted to factor that in as well. So just from a design perspective, we were thinking support. And then on top of that, we built in services and value add-on support services. So you get premium support for, I think, now this is where you have to really, I can't quote everything off this, but it comes with premium support. It comes with 90-day parts and labor, and it comes with I think a free over-the-phone support for a period of time. And then in addition to that, you can extend that with the Gear Care plan, which will give you 3 years of extension on your parts and labor, on your premium support, on and even advanced replacement. So for some reason, something just busts on the system, we'll actually ship you a replacement unit before you send that one back to us.
Wow. And you know what? You also, so it sounds like you're almost getting like an IT department with this thing. And you're also getting Andrews as your support, not just a support guy, but almost kind of like, you're an evangelist for Wirecast. And I would highly suggest anyone who's out there to subscribe to the Wirecast channel, because Andrew's always going out there with new tutorials, tips, and videos, which I watch all the time to learn new things. In fact, you seem to really be, I don't know if you know this or not, but you seem to be like the guy who's on top of Facebook Live specifically. Can you tell us just a little bit more about your experiences, what's new, what's changing? You mentioned a little bit about that monetization thing, which sounds really cool. I don't know anything about it, and you really seem like an expert. Can you just tell us what you're excited about and what's new with Facebook Live?
Well, I do not want to call myself an expert here because I don't feel like I am one, but I am trying to at least share what I do know and then find out what I don't know. So hopefully, we'll have even more information around Facebook and how to best stream to Facebook, hopefully from Facebook themselves at some point soon. So, but that being said, there are terms of service and things like that you can go look at if you're curious about how it works and what you can and can't do. When it comes to the monetization, all I meant was that with Wirecast 7.2, the release that's upcoming, we added a portion of the Facebook API, which is specifically for branded or sponsored content. Mm-hmm. This doesn't apply to everybody because it's a feature that Facebook only offers to verified pages or pages with a blue check mark next to them. So, this mostly works for businesses, companies, or celebrities or individuals with a public profile of some kind. But what that allows them to do is add a tag to their stream, which basically says we're streaming this in partnership with or in conjunction with another company or another verified page, which allows them both to see and help promote that content and to give credit for sponsors or advertisers or things that are helping them get that content on the air. So we see that's really helpful. And for example, Yes Networks is looking at doing the branded content with like the Tri-State Ford dealership, I think. Don't quote me on that, but there's things like that people that want to come in and sponsor streams and things like that. The sponsored content tag allows them to do that, and that can be a source of monetization or ad revenue.
Yeah, no, that's huge, and I have actually been extremely happy with my dollars spent, let's just call it, on Facebook.
Nice.
For views, for promotion, boosting posts, and anything that has to do with monetization. I know a lot of our shared customers and your customers and my customers are interested in using that. So that sounds great.
Yeah, I think that Facebook wants that to work for everybody, including themselves. So we want Wirecast to make that easy on everybody as well. So we'll continue to share content around that. And you're right about that. We're live every Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time on our Facebook Telestream Wirecast page. And we share that also on our YouTube channel. And I think we'll definitely be having some content coming up soon about the sponsored content and the sponsored tags.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I mean, this is great. I've had such a good, some people have said, in the beginning I was like, what is Facebook doing? YouTube is the place to be. That's where people spend time watching live shows. And I still think that our audience seems to be on YouTube. And maybe it's because we haven't we haven't brought Facebook up, but you are the opposite. You actually live stream to Facebook, correct? And you don't live stream to
YouTube.
YouTube,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, at this time we don't. We've looked at potentially maybe mixing things up or doing a different broadcast on different days. So we'll see. But at this point, with Facebook Live, the main purpose, and with Wirecast Live, to do it on Facebook was to kind of eat our own dog food, I guess you could say, like to basically put our money where our mouth was and talk about the very feature and use it while we were talking about it, in addition to all the other things. So we found that using Facebook Live was the best way to help demonstrate how others could use Facebook Live, because it was a new destination that hadn't been available before. And we wanted to kind of make a proof of concept for people and a place where they could also come to get tips and share and build a community around. So we found that Facebook's been really great for that, and we like that about it a lot. So we'll probably continue to stream to Facebook Live for the foreseeable future, because it's just been a great response and a good place to go. So check us out. But we certainly don't want to limit people. If you, for some reason, Facebook's inconvenient for you, we try to post everything on our YouTube channel as well. And then we'll probably have a site on our website as well where all that content will be available too. That's forthcoming.
Yeah, I think because Facebook is new to hosting videos and live streams, fairly new anyway. It seems like if you're into marketing at all right now, the pay per click per view on Facebook is really, really low, and versus YouTube, which is pretty high, and I use both. And I was wondering about, how do which one's going to be perform more? Is Google charging because they've got better, platform for advertising on? But what I found is that Facebook is pretty darn good, and the demographics are incredible. You can't drill down the way you can on Facebook the way with YouTube. They give you very vague groupings and places where with Facebook you can say, I want this profession, I want this age group, I want the people that like this. Now Twitter, if I can switch the situations a little bit, Twitter on the other hand is also allowing you to really drill down on your marketing. I don't know if you've looked at that, and they just opened up Periscope Producer. Have you looked at that yet?
Yeah, no. So we did a couple streams actually so Periscope Producer, for those of you who don't know, was this service, or basically this new feature that Periscope announced, which allows you to turn your accounts, your Periscope TV accounts, into Periscope Producer accounts. That basically allows you to stream third-party RTMP streams to your Periscope TV account. So now, just like with Facebook Live, when Facebook Live announced the API, anybody using Wirecast or any other streaming or RTMP software can now stream to Facebook, and can now stream to Periscope if your Periscope account is Periscope Producer enabled. And that was really exciting for us. And so that was just a couple weeks ago, and I did a few tutorials already showing how you can do that with Wirecast and get to that. So I think you get some really good metadata and statistics on the viewing and the viewers. So it's a cool platform too. Haven't looked too much into the advertising side and how you can target specific audiences, but I know that Facebook's really big on that. So is this your I
took this today. I couldn't get it working.
Okay.
But this just shows everyone, Periscope is basically an iPhone app that it really did turn out to be great. And if you go into the settings of your Periscope account, you can enable
advanced sources.
You can go to the advanced settings. Now you do need to contact Periscope and get it enabled, like you mentioned. And then once you go in here to the advanced sources, they'll give you an RTMP feed. Now, does Wirecast have native integration for that, or do you still have to go through the RTSP custom stream?
Yeah, so you still have to set up your Periscope destination as a custom RTMP destination or server. That's just because Periscope doesn't have an API yet that we can tie into. Okay. So everything's in their app and controlled that way. So hopefully they'll announce that at some point, but for now, it's pretty easy to just configure your Wirecast to send to it.
Yeah, Joycaster does have it built in if you want to stream to that. They're like a restreaming software, and Fresno University is asking a little bit about that, and I want to get Wirecast's take on it. Can Wirecast stream to multiple content delivery networks at the same time? I'm pretty sure it can. I mean, I've used it before. You can definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Wirecast doesn't limit you on what destinations and how many you want to stream to. Your limit's going to be your bandwidth and your processing power for encoding. So if you're spinning up multiple streams, you can really bog down your system or your internet really fast. So if you have, assuming that you've got that in place and you can do it, Wirecast will let you stream wherever you want. The exception to that is Facebook. It's Facebook, according to their terms of service, does not want you streaming to other APIs when using their API in Wirecast. So, there's still generic destinations available, but if you want to just tie into the Facebook API in Wirecast and then tie right into the YouTube API, you're not going to be able to do both at the same time.
One of the things with Facebook, I just want to kind of ask you a couple more questions, then we'll end this. We're going over a little bit. And I do also want to mention, remember, we have free virtual sets for Wirecast. I put the link in the description below. So if anyone's a Wirecast user out there, we're going to give you our virtual set packs for free in the name of this show with Wirecast. But on the Facebook topic, I have found that there is no way to advertise or boost a live stream in progress. It seems like the way Facebook wants you to do it is they want you to create an event for the live stream, and then you can promote the event. But you can't go and say, here, Facebook, here's $100. As soon as I go live, tell everyone about it. Like, you can't promote or boost live events. Am I right by saying that? Because I haven't been able to figure that out.
I think you can,
Really?
but I don't want to say that I'm 100% certain on that. So if you, I can ask and find out a little bit more about it. And the other tricky thing with Facebook is that the user interface changes frequently.
I know.
And that can be confusing. So sometimes when I saw a feature, you could do something, it may not have been one that you've seen or would see now. So it's a little tricky to try to get on the same page when it comes to things like that. But from my experience, tentative, for what it's worth, I think I've read somewhere that you can boost a live stream and you can do it while it's live. But
okay, I have to figure that out. Because it's totally worth it. It's brand spanking new. Facebook doesn't know what they're doing yet, it seems like. It seems totally good pricing. Like for $5 or $10, you can get access to like thousands of people into their streams, and you can really drill down the demographics. So if you're a marketer or you're trying to get your content out there, it seems like a great platform. Don't miss out on it for sure. I have definitely had success on it personally. The way I've been boosting my live streams, like since we're doing it on YouTube, what I'll do is I'll post it on Facebook and then just boost that post, not the live stream specifically. But
I think you'll get better results with the live stream direct, just because the algorithm will, I think, favor you. And I think if you pay to boost your live stream, you'll get even better, more favorable algorithm preference. But nobody really knows all that. That's the kind of secret sauce that Facebook, I think, is continually adjusting. But yeah, I think there should be some good forums or groups that you can check out where people are sharing that information and talking about it. And there's some experts out there that have really tried to figure it out as it changes.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like I've read into it. It's always changing. It's always new. It's really difficult. My advice to anyone out there would be definitely try it. Set aside, if you've got $1,000 a month for budgeting, give Facebook a little bit of that money. It's totally worth it. Exactly what Andrew said. I do believe that they will favor you in their algorithms if you're actually a customer of theirs. I've definitely seen it start working for me. So that's...
And the other two numbers you want to look at are your reach versus your actual viewers, and then live viewers versus then your on-demand viewers over the next few days. So I think those are the three numbers really you should be looking at and seeing if, just because you reached more, did you actually reach more? Did actually more people see it? Or did, the reach number not necessarily correlate to views? The other thing you can do is you can add tags, which aren't yet available in the API, or at least the way that we've integrated with it yet. So hopefully that'll come. But for now, you need to add your keywords and your search tags after you've streamed. So, and that can really help your paid, your ranking and when people are searching for certain topics. So I highly recommend going after a video is done and going in and editing those and adding those keyword search terms.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I guess since we're talking about it, of course, we're way over time. We're gonna end very soon here. Is if you're posting everything to YouTube, don't forget to post it to Facebook. Or what I've heard a lot of people do is take your YouTube content and take a small piece of it and put it on natively uploading it to Facebook, because Facebook is really desperate for videos now, and they will give you it. The viewership is incredible. I'm just like, is this now? Who knows?
Right.
But it's totally worthwhile. Everything Andrew said. Andrew, I think this is a really hot topic. You should continue to focus on it, because I know it's one of those topics that's always changing, it's always moving, but it's so powerful. There's so many marketers out there that want to understand how to use it, and you have the perfect product, the perfect APIs. I think you've really focused on Facebook, and I do think it's a huge market. So
you are an expert. You do that. Thanks for the feedback on that.
You are an expert, Andrew. There's not that many people out there that go learn all this stuff and stay up to date.
Well, we got to share the knowledge that we have, because we're better together.
Oh, that was the last thing I was going to say, is that, Andrew was talking about how important tags are, and you're totally right. The other thing to think about is to do a little research, because sometimes there's so many freaking tags and you can't create your own, right? They have to be like established tags.
You've hit my knowledge on that.
From what I've found, you can't create your own.
I'm thinking YouTube tags on that one. So
in YouTube you can create your own tags, but in Facebook it seems like they've got their like established tags, and you can't create your own. So it requires a little bit more research and thought up front to be like, okay, well, if I can't create my own, what's available? And sometimes what's available isn't what you're thinking is what it should be. So you have to try all these different words to figure out what keywords. Like I'll tell everyone what I use. I use streaming media. Live streaming isn't one. There's like it's weird. But Wirecast is a tag. Surprisingly, you have your own tag. Although some of your competitors aren't on there. Like I don't think TriCaster, as we mentioned, I don't think they have their own tag.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I we were invited early on, so that was a big kind of validation of where Wirecast is at in terms of people's recognition of it. My pleasure. Bye, Jim. Thanks, guys. Oh, bummer.